Welcome back to another episode of Requesting Good Company. Today we got a special one for you. It's my boy John Wimple. Here we go.
Yes, sir. Got it started last night. Philadelphia Eagles get on the right track, 1-0.
It's a blessing and a curse. And a curse.
Very much. If anybody follows this team, they never like to make it easy.
They keep your heart racing every play, bro. Every
hmm
play. You don't know if it's going to be a touchdown, a fumble, an interception, uh,
hmm
anything, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we can start with the first quarter. I mean, off rip, what was your initial thoughts of our offense? Or we can start with defense because the defense came out first.
Yeah, I think I'd like to start there. I mean, those first couple of drives, the first drive they force a punt, which I was very happy with. I thought things looked good. Jordan Davis came out first play and got a run stop initially, and then they forced the punt. They ended up punting there, right? Or did they go for it? I think they punted.
Yeah, they
I'm pretty sure they punted because they were backed into their own end zone, and then that first carry for Saquon, he lost like 5 yards because he lost his feet. The field conditions were horrible, I thought.
so I mean, the Eagles obviously had a great offseason. You know,
hmm
we made some changes. We got some people back,
hmm
defensively. We got CJ back.
hmm
I think that starting out the game, the defense in my mind was to set the tone.
hmm
Um I we had one of our linebackers out, right? Who was out?
Yeah, Devin White, which depending on what outlets you look at, some say that Nakobe Dean was slated to start over him anyway. So, who had an up and down game
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Our other linebacker was nasty though.
Oh yeah, that he played his guts out, dude. 15 tackles,
Bro, he was the
two
ball.
sacks, including the last play. Yeah, he really, really played a good game, and he's a guy that they brought over from New Orleans last year. I was really impressed. I didn't even I wouldn't have even expected him to start last night, but he comes in and does a
He,
really good job. Some of the best linebacker play we've seen on our team in years.
years, years. We need him on the field consistently.
hmm
Zach
Yeah.
Bond, he's nasty. He is a.
hmm
And then when they were talking about during the game, he actually was a quarterback in high school.
Yeah. Yeah. I
He
heard
was
that.
nasty and had
Yeah.
state records and stuff like that. So I was
hmm
like, this is what we needed. Some
hmm
other people that highlighted on the defense for me last night was Reed Blankenship. I have
hmm
I have a love hate relationship with him, but
Yeah.
last night he
Yeah.
stood up for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That interception was great. It would it really changed the game, honestly, and kind of felt like it firmly put the Eagles ahead at that point. But you know, I guess I'll kind of shift it back to where we were. The Eagles punt or the Packers punt, and then the Eagles get the ball, and Jalen throws that interception on 3rd and 15. Just a poor decision. I'm perfectly content when you're 3rd and 15 backed up against your own way like that. Just run the ball, and we'll punt and go play defense again. Luckily, the defense was able to hold again, and we held them to a field goal. But just a few decisions in this game by Jalen that you know uh, you see the pieces all over the offense. You see like this is a very, very, very talented offense.
This
They
is
have
a super double
playmakers.
plus team.
Yeah, it truly is. They have playmakers all over the field. Uh, and then you just look and see what can prevent them from reaching those goals. And it's the poor plays that Jalen made last night. And I'm a big Jalen guy. I'm not extremely worried over the mistakes that he made last night because I think it's all fixable. It's just, that the way you come out and start that game, I had actually stepped away, so I didn't see the fumble to see whose fault that actually was. But
You talking about the bad snap situation?
yeah, hmm
So from what I could tell from the like video footage or whatever, he's saying he's telling our new center that like, hey, this is what I'm said. Like, I think the word was like alpha or something like that. I can't even understand what he was saying, but
hmm
all it was a miscommunication that way. He was saying
hmm
alpha alpha instead of like hut pretty much, and
hmm
I guess it was just miscommunication. And we
hmm
knew that that was going to happen. We knew something like that was going to take place, just to just to fill the narrative of Jason Kelsey leaving. You know,
Right, right.
it had to be
And that narrative will continue all week because of what happened at the end of the game. The Eagles not being able to get in the end zone and the fumbled
push push.
snap on the tush push.
I
You
needed that
know,
fantasy, by the way. I needed that bad for my
yeah.
fantasy. Oh my
the
god,
the offensive line for the most part played okay. There were a few sacks that I saw Jalen got sacked twice. One was by Rashawn Gary, where I thought the Packers were very obviously offsides,
yeah.
and Gary came in unrushed or untouched really, and
And
because Lane
Lane,
Lane
Lane was
reacted
like
like super
stopped.
late,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lane pretty much stopped and was like,
hmm
"Yeah, this is obviously going to be a call." And then
I
it was
don't e- I
play.
don't even know if Gary was out. I don't think that he was offsides, but their interior defensive lineman was definitely in the neutral zone, and that play should have been called dead. So we lose possession there, or have to punt after that. Um, so some other key things. Quinion Mitchell played a really, really good game despite getting behind in coverage a couple of times on Jaden Reed. But they schemed him open. They schemed Jaden Reed open on those plays. So
Like,
I wasn't
Christian Watson
I
to go
wasn't
off.
yeah, I wasn't extremely worried about those catches that he made. But Quinion had two pass deflections. I thought he was sticky, especially on that first possession. He had Christian Watson one on one and handled his own. Christian Watson is a burner in this league. He can get vertical on just about anybody. But Quinion held his own.
He
I
talks
was
too.
really pleased with
I
the
like
way
how
he
he
played.
talks. He
Oh
talks
yeah.
to people. He
hmm
he he brings that nastiness to our defensive back core. Him, CJ, because
hmm
some really don't talk that much for real.
No,
So
no.
them two right there is kind of like,
He talks online a lot.
yeah. Well, so there was a play towards the end of the game where it's like a screen pass or something from Green Bay, and N'Kobe Dean's coming, and he
hmm
low key laid a hit.
Oh yeah.
And I wrote
hmm
in one of my group chats, I was like, if that was Malcolm Jenkins, that would be 5 to 10 in prison because
hmm
that
hmm
would have been nasty. And
hmm
I need those nasty players low key on defense.
hmm
You know, the defensive side of the ball for the Eagles has got to be top tier. And I feel like finally, since 2017, I might give us 2020, our defensive back room has been nasty. And I like it. I
hmm
like it for once.
So I mean, yeah, of course, the we're 2 years removed from a Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs now. Secondary played pretty decent that year. I think James Bradbury might have been second team All Pro or something that year. Of course, he's out with injury right now. Obviously everybody in Philadelphia hates that guy just because of how bad he was last year. But I think he can help this room. We'll get him back in a few weeks. Isaiah Rogers was out last night. I think he would have provided a boost in the defensive backfield as well. One thing that I'll take away from this game for sure is this was a top offense that we played. I expect until of course the end of the game, we'll see what happens with Jordan Love and how his health is going to be moving forward. Nothing has really been reported out yet, from what I could tell, but I fully expect the Packers to compete for a wild card spot and be a playoff team, they definitely have pieces offensively to be one of the better offenses in this league. So, um, yeah, overall pleased with the win. Mr. Reliable down there at the end of the game, man. Devontae Smith with huge catches. He came away with 7 catches, 84 yards. Just a winning football player, sir. That's really all it comes down to.
So I have Devontae in one of my fantasy leagues, and I have AJ in my other one. So, and then in my keeper league, I have Jalen and AJ. So I'm getting that double. And last night, man, when that like the first quarter, I think he was like -4. Jalen was end it with.
Mm-hmm.
So I just between Devontae and AJ, it's so like it's such a nasty core, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
It's the best duo in the league. I mean, it has to be.
it has to be. I don't even know
Yeah.
how it's in question anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
Jamar and T. Higgins, people like them. I mean, where we're from, everybody likes Cincinnati, but
Right.
in reality, it's not even close, bro.
I mean,
You can rely on
when they put it on television right in front of your face last night, I don't know how you say anything different. AJ Brown is a guy that can go get the football at any given time, and Smitty is just. I kind of looked at him last night in that role of, here's our closer, man. Like you need a play, you're gonna try to go win the game, and that's who you're gonna target to go win football games because players like Devontae Smith, players like AJ Brown, they are the reason we were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and they're going to be the reason if we want to go back that they're going to be the ones. And what a debut for Saquon Barkley.
what a day.
I don't know how anyone from the New York Giants approved that it would be okay this offseason for them to film them actively losing Saquon Barkley on their football team and put that on Hard Knocks offseason.
That play.
People are saying this man lost his burst. Are you joking me?
He's 26. What are y'all doing? They're treating
I
the man
mean,
like he's 40.
he.
He shut a lot of people up last night.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, right out of the gate, this is a stance that I've been sitting on since January. Saquon was going to bring a Christian McCaffrey like impact to our offense. I think he did that right out of the gate. Goes and catches a wheel route touchdown, first touchdown of the game. So it's showing what he can do through the air right there to help us. And then you saw that burst on that 33-yard run. I mean, he's one juke or spin or whatever away from home running another one there. I mean, he's still one of the top backs in this league. I don't care what anybody says, man. Like,
Another aspect of him is he's humble. He's
mm-hmm,
not doing a bunch of showboating. He's
mm-hmm,
also when he got into the press conference, straight up told him, he said, "This is on the offensive line. I appreciate him and Jalen. Jalen's making the switches, and that's the first time we've got to actually see that because they
mm-hmm,
talked about a lot how Jason Kelsey would made a lot of calls and switching stuff, but
mm-hmm,
now Jalen's taking advantage of it, and it's going to take some time. Like this
mm-hmm,
first game was obviously a great game. We scored 34 points. Anytime the Eagles score plus 30, it's almost a guaranteed win. So
mm-hmm.
it's good for that aspect, but it's also good as in we got a lot of football left. 17 games. We got early bye week, so they're trying to get that over with and see how we produce towards the end of the year. But I think this team it's got to be top 3 in the league. And after
Based
watching,
on based on talent alone, I don't disagree whatsoever. I think the defense will. I think you'll see a better football game out of the defense completely next week. They host the Falcons on Monday night at home. That crowd is going to be amped up, ready to go. Home opener, want to know. We know how that goes. The Eagles have been in that spot before when year they went to the Super Bowl and a couple of years ago, they beat up on Minnesota opening night, or their first home game. Looking at the rest of the schedule this first month, they go to New Orleans in week 3. I mean, very winnable game, and then
I
at
don't,
week 4, where revenge game, Tampa. So looking forward to that.
I don't see anything that's really like sticking out to me as in our schedule as like a struggle game. Maybe the Browns, Miles Garrett might give us some trouble, but if he's
Hmm.
matched up against Lane, I mean that's the matchup you want.
Hmm.
The Bengals, they always have something, and we're gonna have to hear about that. If
Yeah, I'm trying to get there for that one.
Yeah, tickets are expensive for that game for some reason. I get it.
Yeah.
Let
Hmm.
the Bengals lose these first couple of games. If they lose to the Patriots tonight, those tickets will be $20. So, it'll I do have a question for you on how do you feel about our new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator?
You know, there was a lot of talk about Kellen Moore and what he had done the last few years. Led a top offense in Dallas. Dak Prescott enjoyed some of his best years under Kellen Moore. Um, the first thing I'm going to say that you haven't really seen out of the Eagles' offense the past couple of years that it's been missing is that motion, man. That the motion that he brings into that offense is something that Brian Johnson did not incorporate into his offense last year at all. You saw it. Um, Jalen, so they had brought Shipley in motion and opened up a big play down the field. I don't think that was the Saquon touchdown. It might have been that made that opened up that wheel route, but the motion is just such a difference maker. And when you have so many playmakers on your team and you incorporate that motion, it just makes the offense move so much smoother. I mean, Jalen was able to get Goddard involved with that. You know,
Early, early.
yeah, yeah. The drag that he was able to hit Goddard on across the middle of the field, man, those middle of the field routes are what we were missing last year. I mean, I literally show our friends, B Cove, I show him what's Jalen. He asked me, "What's Jalen gonna do against the blitz?" Like we need guys running in the middle of the field
They're
to for Jalen if he's going to be pressured like that. And I remember one specific play. I want to say it was like fourth and short of that playoff game, and the Bucks just sent the house on Jalen, and no one's running across the middle of the field. We have four guys outside. We have two on the left, two on the right, and they're all four are running outside routes. You have to attack the middle of the field if you're gonna counter the blitz like that. So I think Kellen Moore, obviously much more experience than Brian Johnson was. He's led top offenses, worked with Herbert last year, but I felt like the Chargers were a team that had essentially given up on their head coach at that point. And I think it's a win-win for the Eagles defensively. They looked pretty good. I know I think it was Trey Wingo put out a tweet that said the Eagles talk about how great their draft picks are and how great Howie Roseman is, but said that Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis haven't shown that they're like top notch. Jalen Carter is a monster, dude. Like,
a
you know,
man,
I
boy.
I'm
And
like the reason he's not chewing up these monster sack numbers is because he's literally being doubled every single play, dude.
yeah,
Like, and there were a few times where he still almost got through there. He caused the. I don't want to say that he directly injured Jordan Love at the end of the game because I don't think he did. He just wrapped him up, and Jordan kind of fell funny. But I also thought on that Jalen Hurts sack, um, that I thought Rashawn Gary, whenever he sacked him, that was a hip drop tackle. I don't know why they wouldn't have thrown a flag there. It looked like a hip drop tackle to me. So one specific spot on the offense that I didn't like from Kellen Moore was on the interception that Jalen threw in the end zone. Uh, just just take our points there, man. Like we're up five at that point.
I
Just
was
get out of there, run the ball, and kick a field goal, and we win. Like we're fine.
I was also confused on why we ran the ball consistently, and now we're going to
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
we literally went for empty for the next three plays after we just ran what 60 something yards to get a
Hmm.
touchdown. I was like, what are we doing here?
Hmm.
run the ball, finish them out, and be done with it. But
Hmm.
that's the thing about the Eagles. We love the Eagles, but they consistently give us heartache, bro.
Hmm.
Consistently make us wonder if we're gonna win. I hate that.
Hmm.
Beat the,
Hmm.
beat the team by 50 and call it a day. And
Hmm.
we have the ability to do that. That's the problem.
It felt like there were opportunities in this game to put it away a lot earlier than they did. Obviously, the game was in question until the last play, but you know, once the Packers, we had took the lead off the Brown touchdown, and then the Packers came back, and man, that drive, the first of all, the late hit that they called, and the pass interference, that play was awful. That I couldn't account for a penalty on either one of the instances that they threw a flag for. And then Avonte Maddox, uh, up and down relationship with that guy, but
It's always Malcolm.
why is he on our football team? Like,
Why? Who he reminds me of? They keep bringing him back and forth and back and forth. He reminds
mhm.
me of Jordan Matthews back in the day.
Yeah,
And we'll
just
drop Jordan Matthews one day,
can't
and the
quit
next,
him.
yeah, I'm like, what's happening here? But
Hmm.
that guy, he gets me every time because he's not that good. Like
No.
we have
Mhm.
rookies that should.
He's been in our building for a long time too. Uh yeah, so getting Rogers back next week might help that. I didn't see a whole lot of Keely Ringo out there, which I
It's
thought would
surprising.
be
Yeah,
I thought would be someone we'd see more of. I want to see more Cooper DeJean. Um so,
secondary
hopefully,
is nasty. It
yeah.
really is. It is
Hmm.
stacked for once.
Hmm.
Good.
Hopefully they get to incorporate some of these guys. You don't have to continue to play these older guys that have burned you in the past, like Monte Maddox. Um, so I'm excited to see where the defense can go. Um, one thing that I think was pretty missed last night. We didn't bring a whole lot of pressure. We didn't get a lot of pressure with the four-man rush that we typically do. Um, if I'm Howie Roseman, I'm probably getting on the phone with the New York Jets and see what it takes to get Hassan Reddick back.
So I'm back. Yeah. Josh Sweat, man, he looked. I don't know what's going on with him, but he looked like he was like injured almost the way he was running. I know he
Mm-hmm.
runs like a robot most of the times, anyways, but last night he
Mm-hmm.
was just slow off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who surprised me in his old age, BG always makes at least one play that hypes everybody up. And I'm just like, he's got
He,
to be in our Hall of Fame.
oh yeah, he embodies everything that it means to be a Philadelphia Eagles football player, man. To be here all this time. He went through struggle at the beginning of his career. Everybody wanted him out of here, saying, "Oh, we should have took Earl Thomas. Should took Earl Thomas, who's still playing in the league."
Yeah. Still making plays. Who
Yeah.
who made bro, he goes down in history as one of the like people who made the best play in our Super Bowl. Like
Mm-hmm.
sacking Tom Brady, getting the ball back. Like
Mm-hmm.
BT's nasty.
Oh yeah.
But I
He's a
wasn't
legend in our book. He's one of those guys that might not be known to everybody else, but we know who he is because he made arguably the biggest play in the history of our team.
him, Malcolm. Those are guys that need to be in our Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree.
Uh, what do you feel about our meeting that started? We've been started. What do you feel is our how am I gonna word this? What do you feel like will be our greatest success this year? Offensively and defensively. What's gonna make or break our team?
As far as the offense goes, I think you really just got to it really falls at the feet of Jalen Hurts. How good can you be? Can you get back to that MVP level that you were playing at? Honestly, the first 11 games of the season last year, he was the MVP favorite at that point, I would say, and get back to 2022 when he was would have been the MVP until he got hurt. To that point is I wouldn't have had any problem saying that Jalen Hurts was the second best quarterback in the NFL after we lost to the Super Bowl. It,
I
he
said it.
outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that game. A lot of people don't like it when I say that, but if you turn on the film, he just did. He just did. So, it really falls on him. It really comes down to him. They have all the weapons in the world. Health is going to be a big part of it. You need the guys on this offense to stay healthy. You need AJ to stay healthy. He was banged up at the end of the year last year. Need Saquon to stay healthy, but I don't see any holes. I definitely don't see any holes on that side of the ball. I think it was on full display last night what kind of offense they can be. Defensively, just get better every week. Just get better every single week. I'm not blown away by the talent that we have in this room, although I do think there is talent, and get some of these young guys accustomed to what it's like to be a good football player in the National Football League, and I think there'll be a unit that gets better and better as the season goes on, for sure.
In my opinion, offensively, the only thing that could make us downfall is if I'm not even gonna say our receivers. I'm gonna say if AJ gets upset and wants the ball every 5 seconds.
Hmm.
I love AJ. He doesn't need the ball every 5 seconds. He needs to at at some point. I mean, all the camp talks have said how AJ and Devontae are sitting there watching Saquon and all, and are like, "This is good." But eventually, everybody got paid. So everybody's going to need to make some motion. Defense
Everybody should be happy. Everybody should be happy about that and ready
winning,
to,
yeah.
yeah. I'm super excited. Very, very thrilled that they came out and got a win, despite I like I said, shaky uh field conditions there. Bryce Huff
Second
lost
time
his.
where I feel like the NFL has got us with some tricky field, like our Super
Hmm.
Bowl. They got us with some
Right.
tricky field, and it wouldn't
Hmm.
affect the Kansas City as much because their defensive line isn't getting off the ball like we were in that Super Bowl.
Right. I
That
mean,
hurt us a little bit.
even on the touchdown pass from Jordan Love, um, Jordan Love had threw that touchdown pass to Jaden Reed. Bryce Huff had got off to he got a really good start on his jump there, jumped the snap really good. He lost his feet, and slip and slide out there. So I thought the environment as a whole in Brazil was really cool. I thought that everybody was, very into the game, and luckily the NFL was able to come out there and put on a good game between two good teams. And especially to back that up after Thursday night's drama. Uh, I I wouldn't mind them going back there. Despite the field conditions, I think it's a good thing for the NFL to expand internationally and just continue to build. It felt like over the last few days that a lot of that preseason talk about it being dangerous over there, and I saw Philadelphia Eagles fans in the streets wearing green, like in the club, like it was a non-issue, man. Like people just need to calm down. It's not that big of a deal.
John, I got one more. Well, it's a two-part last question.
Hmm.
Give me your offensive player of the game and your defensive player of the game. It can be from either team.
Offensive player of the game, I'm gonna have to. Feels like a pretty obvious pick, but Saquon Barkley comes out and scores 3 touchdowns, shows that he's a difference maker in our offense. Uh, from a skill set standpoint, the best running back that we've had on our football team since LaShawn McCoy comes out and scores 3 touchdowns. Definitely the player of the game. Defense, I'm gonna give it to Zach Bond just because of the 15 tackles and the 2 sacks. Newcomer coming over from the Saints. But yes, he's the player of the game. But I'm gonna give a shout out to Quinyon Mitchell. I thought he looked really good in his debut as an Eagle. Uh, made some plays that we're not used to seeing from our corners. So, I'm gonna give him an honorable mention. I look forward for him to continue to play well and be a big part of this defense and for years to come. Honestly.
Well, sure. Well, that's another episode of Requesting Good Company. We want to thank you, John. We're gonna be back at it. We're gonna be back at it like
Sir.
I want to say crack addicts, but we didn't say that already. We'll be back at it.
Yes, sir. Can't wait. Can't wait. It's gonna be fun.